Hi, my name is Angeline Luong. I am going to present my portfolio for the comp exam. I am currently a sixth grade teacher at August Boger Middle School in San Jose, California. I graduated at Sacramento State with my bachelor's degree in child development, and before I became a school-age teacher, I was a preschool teacher for a couple of years. Some of my professional goals is to graduate with my master's by the end of this year. I also want to lead a more active leadership role at my school, whether it's being leadership, joining AVID, or being a part of the lead team for my school. I would also like to eventually, within maybe 10 years' time, to get nationally board certified. Some of my professional goals is to be a good wife and a good mother. I gave birth to my son Henry March of 2017, so he's currently 7 months old. And ultimately, I want to be able to have the opportunities to teach abroad in the summers for a couple of years when my son gets a little older. And eventually, I want to be conversationally proficient in Mandarin, Spanish, and Vietnamese. Now I'm going to present my philosophy of education. I think it's very important to be able to communicate effectively as a leader, especially when you're communicating with parents, students, and fellow colleagues. It's important to be very knowledgeable about what's currently happening in education, and especially when it's pertaining to the population I'm working with. It's important to be able to articulate what I'm trying to say with the people that I'm trying to communicate with, to make sure that we can lead to a solution that we all can be happy about if there is a miscommunication. I think it's also very important for a leader to be very strategic when it comes to sensitive situations, when it's involving parents, students, the community, and even some parents as well. When emotions are involved, it's very important to be logical. Therefore, acting strategically can be seeking help when needed. As a good leader, I should be able to ask for that help if I am in a situation where I don't know where to go forth with. It's also very important for a leader to be a good listener. Most importantly, being an active listener. The reason why is when you're actively listening to the people that's around you, it's easier to make future steps to plan and advocate for those that might need your support. When that happens, you will learn to be able to support them when they're in need and earn the respect that you can receive as a leader. And in situations like that, a lot of people will feel like they're valued and supported when you're actively listening to them. Finally, it's very important for leaders to lead by example. If I want to change, I also need to be a part of that change. And words can do many things, but action speaks a lot more. And if I want change to happen, I have to be able to take forth with action and let others know that the expectations I have for them are expectations that I myself are going to reach as well. And that's very important for me as an educator and a leader to do. This is my resume. I started as a tutor and ultimately became a preschool teacher at the college I went to. I graduated and went back home to San Jose, California, and was a before and after school teacher and a supervisor for a couple of years. Then I got the opportunity to be a full-time teacher at Luther Burbank, being a sixth grade teacher. And now I'm still currently a sixth grade teacher at August Boger, the middle school that I graduated from. I hope to continue to ultimately build my resume with more certifications and skills and possibly even more activities that I can grow as a professional. Now I'm going to present to you a presentation on the standards and the activities I did within those standards. The first standard talked about the importance of sharing a vision with all stakeholders and how that will lead to the success of every student. I was able to engage in classroom observations. I created a teacher evaluation for the principal that she used to give feedback to teachers instantly and also give them the support they need in areas of weaknesses that they had. I was able to engage in collaborative days with my fellow peers and other paraprofessionals to use data and how that data can help us and help inform us to create activities as well as other actions that will help our students go forth with their education and prosper academically. And the collaboration days were supported by the district because we had subs come in that allowed us to take the time during a school day to meet together and make these action plans. I also engaged in a office help where I helped organize files, put files into cabinets where teachers can access them, and make phone calls for to set up IEPs, SST meetings, or organize events that with our community. The second standard talks about the importance of the school culture and staff professional development in the success of every student. And I engaged with Kinder Buddies. My sixth graders paired up with Kinders every week to read to them or to do physical activities, and that was very fun. I also engaged in creating a talent show with my fellow sixth grade teacher. We made the lineup. We created practice time. I also communicated with some fellow teachers to be part of the judging panel, and students were able to showcase their other skills they had other than academics. I engaged in a Google PD that the district gave us once a month for a whole year to help us learn about Google applications and how to use them in the classroom. I was able to not only use it in the classroom, but also have students use them in a way that they can enhance their learning using 21st century technology. My husband and I also engaged in a Winter Santa event where the community came together after school's hours during for a school event where students and parents engage in various activities like taking pictures with Santa and various games and collaborative games that they can do with their parents in the gym. This third standard talk about how it's important to manage the organization and operations to induce a safe environment, learning environment for our students. And I was able to use the FERPA poster, the KIPA PowerPoint, and the AUP agreement slip that I made in my coursework to share them with my fellow colleagues and administrators. I actually posted the FERPA in my classroom so parents know that they have rights. I shared the KIPA and the AUP's agreement slip to my administrator for them to use if they wanted to for a professional training so teachers understand the importance of internet safety. I also engaged in a after-school program that helped create a summer program with my fellow colleague. I helped coordinate with the community to create educational field trips for the students. So we went to Monterey Bay Aquarium to learn about ecosystems. We also went to do a lot of outdoors nature walks and activities to teach students about outdoor safety. And that also helped our students know that school is a safe environment, not only during the school year, but also during the summer. The fourth standard talks about the importance of collaborating with fellow faculty members and community members to mobilize community resources to make sure that the success of students is being reached. So what I did is I collaborated with the Tech Museum and had my students and fellow fifth grade students engage in what's called the Tech Challenge. They came together to create a flying prototype that they would ultimately build that would be able to go over X amount of obstacles. And at the end of the year, they were able to display and show their prototype during a school assembly, as well as the Tech Museum with fellow community members that also engaged in the challenge from various school districts. I also engaged in a path track and field where community members came together with their children to engage in track and field with the San Jose Police Department. This was to promote students in engaging in healthy activity outside of school. I also engaged in the middle school dances where I helped create a photo booth and decorated the gym This allowed to give students a safe environment to socialize, make friends, and feel safe. I also engaged in a swim meet where I was helping fellow high school teachers and schools come together in a swim meet where I helped with the snack shack as well as the cowbell, where swimmers know that is the last lap they are in. The fifth standard talks about a leader acting with integrity, fairness, and in an ethical manner. I engaged in IEP meetings where teachers, parents, students, and other paraprofessionals will come together to make sure students are receiving the accommodations they need to excel academically. I created an anti-bullying poster and an exceptionality PowerPoint that I shared with my fellow colleagues that they can use to learn more about the importance of helping our students socially, emotionally, and even academically in the classroom. I also engaged in high school track meets where we were the timing system, and it was very important for us to make sure that if there were any ties or any miscommunications, that we read the video very carefully, because these times can be used for students to get scholarships in college as well as use to be a part of the Junior Olympics. The sixth standard talks about leaders understanding, responding, influencing the political, social, economic, legal, and cultural context. So I engaged in board meetings. I engaged in distributing, collecting, reading, organizing, and attending LCAP meetings. I also created a parent survey that the school used to help get parent feedback. And I also created a community leader IO from one of my courseworks that I gave to my fellow colleagues so they know that the chain of communication from us to the principal to the district office all the way up into the President of the United States. I'm now back in my e-portfolio to present to you my reflection. I found out about Fort Hays State University through a fellow colleague, and after exploring their master programs, I decided to put in my application to attend as a virtual student, and I believe that was the best choice I've ever made in my life. So after I got my acceptance letter, I was a little stressed, but I knew that if I laid out all the activities I need to do and know where my needs are, I will feel a lot more comfortable and less stressed. So I found out I needed more practicum in high school, and I was able to get some advice from my administrators. So after engaging on all these activities, I was able to work with, different types of leaders, coaches, principals, different superintendents, and other fellow teachers that were in leader positions. So it was really great to see the traits that they held and how they handled various situations, because through that, I was able to determine myself traits that I would like to have as I become a leader in the educational world. So I originally wanted to get my master's in spring of 2017, but my son came early, so I was very stressed physically and mentally, but I had such great support. The professors at Fort Hays was very comforting and very flexible with my assignments, and they made me feel like I can definitely focus on my child and still be able to finish my coursework. I also got great support from my administrators at school, making sure that I stayed focused on my health and that they will handle everything else. So after that experience, I was more than ever knew what kind of leader I wanted to be, and that helped me know that in the future, I wanted to be like those professors and administrators that supported me through those hard times. Now that I'm officially on the comp exam calendar, I cannot be more excited. I originally thought that getting my master's in education administration was solely going to be a principal or student advisor, but I know there's so many more opportunities out there and other positions that will help me grow as a leader. I now know that I can definitely be an asset for the future of education, and after completing all these activities for the practicum, I am more comfortable to be in positions to be in different scenarios and situations where I can grow and learn as a leader. So as I receive my master's through these activities and coursework, I am now more prepared to apply my knowledge and be the leader that leads by example and communicate effectively, act strategically, and listen actively. In doing so, I will be building relationships that will ensure that education is being accessible and meet the needs of all students. Thank you, Fort Hays, for giving me this opportunity to grow as a leader.